What's going on? It's great to see you. I'm Alex Gassaway, social entrepreneur and impact filmmaker, and today I'm taking you behind the scenes of a short film that was shot on the iPhone 8 Plus 18mm moment lens, the FilmicPro App, and the DJI Osmo Mobile. Roll that intro. First of all, I made this film specifically to submit to the Moment Invitational Film Festival that was just announced and is hosted by the company that produces these awesome lenses. So when they were offering a 20% off deal for the Invitational, and they announced that they had 10 really great YouTubers that had already been chosen for the festival, I knew it would be a really cool project just to get out and shoot and potentially be part of an awesome festival. So the only guidelines that Moment gave for the project was that it had to be less than 3 minutes and the story had to follow the theme of suspense. So I just did a brainstorm that night and I went through a few ideas, and after a few hours I landed on a very simple, quick story about an actor running to catch a train for an audition. The next day I texted one of my actor friends who I had recently worked with on another short film that I directed, and he was immediately on board, so we were in business. So it was a quick turnaround and I scouted locations that Friday just by riding the metro train in LA from downtown Long Beach almost to Union Station, and I just kept getting off at different stations that looked like they might work. We used two stations. We used the Long Beach station to shoot the interiors of the train, because when I was scouting, that train is actually at the end of the line, and so it sat there for about 15 minutes before taking off. So to be able to keep continuity and to be able to shoot as efficiently as possible, we needed to shoot the interiors on the same train. So we did all the interiors on that single train in Long Beach. So I had been thinking about purchasing these lenses for a while. With the 20% off discount, it's pretty much a no-brainer. But for this film using the DJI Osmo Mobile, I also had to buy the 100-gram counterweight for my iPhone 8 Plus. They have two different counterweights. They're still working on prototyping for the Osmo Mobile too, so just keep that in mind. And so as far as software goes, I use the FilmicPro App. I think it's a really cool app that allows you to take control of your settings in your camera that you can't really do in the native iPhone app, at least. For this project, I also purchased the cinematographer upgrade, which allowed me to shoot in a log setting, which really flattened that color and allowed me to do a lot more work in post color correction. And then the other pre-production stuff was really just getting my presets in order. So the app is really cool because you can make presets, and so I knew that I was going to be doing some in slow motion, so I made 120 frames per second. I actually shot everything in cinema aspect ratio, so I did my preset for 239:1. And keep in mind on the FilmicPro app, if you're doing, I think it's anything above 30 frames per second, yeah, so even 60 and 120 frames per second, you can't use the log profile. When it came to making my shot list, it was actually pretty simple. Since I didn't really write a script, it was all just sort of one big paragraph of shots that I had in my mind. So it was already kind of done by the time I came up with the idea. And on set, especially running on shoot like this, you plan up front and prepare to scrap it all and go with the flow. But that morning we did actually drive to the main location, that main station that we're going to be shooting all the exteriors. And we did a little walk through the camera since I didn't have the lens or the gimbal when I did my location scouting. So one great thing too about the FilmicPro app, which allows a lot more control as well, it's super easy to adjust the exposure. And also if you're trying to make a film and you want to rack focus with your iPhone, you can actually do that on the FilmicPro app. It works really well. I did actually make one kind of ridiculous mistake. So the main shot when the character is kind of coming up that stairwell, that shot the entire time I imagined in 120 frames per second. I was just flustered and we were trying to hurry because we had an opening and not many people were around. And I completely forgot to switch over to my 120 frames per second preset. So that one was at 60 frames per second, which is kind of like an in-between that is kind of crappy. But you know, if that's the one mistake that happened on the day, I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely shooting on location was a bit of a challenge. There were lots of people coming on and off the trains at the station. We didn't want to be a nuisance to anyone because obviously you never want to be a nuisance to everyone. But it was also kind of a really fun, challenging day just to get out and shoot, get out of my comfort zone, and also just see what this equipment is capable of and really focus on that storytelling aspect and using just these compact tools that are really affordable and seeing what kind of story we can tell out of it. And that's one thing that I really love and focus on a lot in this channel, is talking about, you know, what can we make with the tools that we have. I just went with the wide lens, and I thought it was a really fun way to just not worry about the equipment and changing out lenses, but actually just focus on more of the camera movement. So how could I use that gimbal to tell the story? What can I put between myself and the character? What different vantage points can you get with this camera? Another part where we start down at the ground and his feet turn the corner and we crane up to show him running towards the station. And so this was a really fun exercise in that, and I'm really glad that Moment came out with this invitational, this festival, to challenge filmmakers like myself to see what we can do with the tools that are available and in our pocket every single day. And that's all I have for you. I really appreciate you guys being here on my channel today. If you enjoyed this content, if you got any value out of this behind the scenes footage, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below and tell me what you like. Tell me any hacks or strategies that you use to get the best quality footage out of your phone. Alright, until next time, keep on hacking social impact.